It's time to change your settings immediately here in Modern Warfare 3 Season 4 Reloaded. I have some new settings that are going to drastically improve your aim, accuracy, and gun skill, especially under the aim assist category. If that sounds good, feel free, drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and feel free, let me know down in the comment section right now, what are your current sensitivity settings? As you guys can see here, I play with an Xbox Elite controller on PC with one paddle on the back, the short paddle set up for jumping. The reason I do that is so I can drop shot and jump shot a lot easier, making sure that I can win as many gunfights as possible at those close to medium ranges. Now, you also want to adjust your button layout to tactical. Even though I have an Xbox Elite controller, I still remap my crouch and prone button by pressing down on the right thumbstick so I can drop shot and still be able to aim down sight. After all of the updates in Modern Warfare 3, this is super important because the more gunfights you win, the more streaks you're going to be dropping, and the more DNA bombs you're going to be getting. So definitely make this adjustment if you have not already. Now, everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. The only thing I have adjusted is I have my controller vibration turned off. This is a setting you're either going to turn off and never turn it back on, or turn it off and find that you like the vibration. For me personally, the vibration is going to be throwing off my aim and accuracy at longer ranges, and I don't want that to happen. That's why I have my vibration turned off. Now, luckily, the dead zone settings are very easy to adjust, and because my controller is new, I actually do not have to adjust any of my dead zones. But if you have an older controller, you can use this to fine-tune your inputs to figure out if you have stick drift. But if you don't want to worry about that, I highly recommend picking up an Xbox Elite controller. No, this is not a sponsored video. The controllers are durable, they last, and I think a lot of you guys will benefit from them tenfold. Now, under the aiming category, you guys can see here that I play on a 6 horizontal as well as a 6 vertical. I've stayed with the 6.6 sensitivity for a very long time now, but there is going to be something I like to call the sensitivity window. That's going to be between 4 and 6. This is going to be pretty much the range I think everybody should stick with in Call of Duty right now, unless they make massive changes within Black Ops 6 or a different game. The reason being is because this is going to be a range where it's fast enough, but it's not too fast where everything is uncontrollable and you can't win gunfights at longer ranges. Let's be honest here, in Call of Duty, all your gunfights are pretty much going to be directly in front of you, to your left or to your right, so you don't really need to be running on like a 12 or something like that where you could do a complete 360 at a moment's notice. It's just not necessary because it is a boots on the ground game. If they had jetpacks for whatever reason, we might have to go ahead and bump that right up. Now, for my ADS sensitivity in multiplayer, I have actually reduced this to a 0.55. If you are going to be playing on the 6.6 setting, I do recommend 0.55. This is going to adjust any stick play so you can be fine-tuned and as accurate as possible at those longer ranges. I do not want to have any type of play messing up my long-range performance, because that's where I feel like a lot of people are falling short. Now, if you guys are playing on the 4.4 sensitivity, I do recommend going ahead and bumping this up to a 0.75. And if you guys are playing on 5.5, 0.65 is going to be the other option to run. Everything else here is pretty much the same. I went back to linear. I have messed with dynamic in the past. I've messed with standard, but I always find myself reverting back to linear with 6.65. This is going to allow you to snap aim and be incredibly accurate at any and all ranges, and overall use multiple class of weapons without having to make many adjustments, which in my personal opinion is a massive W. Now, again, everything else here is pretty much going to be the same. Always play on Black Ops. Black Ops is going to be the best aim assist type, offering a little bit more sticky aim. And considering the fact that Black Ops 6 is right on the corner, it just makes common sense to go ahead and utilize the Black Ops setting so you are ready to go and dominating when the new Call of Duty does drop, if you are going to be picking it up, which I have a feeling a lot of us are, because it literally is going to be Modern Warfare 3, but better, at least from what the leaks and what people have already, said that have played it. Again, everything else is pretty much going to be the same. I've not made any adjustments. For the gameplay settings, you guys can see automatic tactical sprint is going to be enabled. The reason I go ahead and have this enabled is so I can get around the map a lot faster. It's my own personal preference. Do you have to have this on? No, but if you do not want to be camping in a corner all game, which I know a lot of us do not want to do, automatic tactical sprint is going to be a very, very good option here. Everything else here is going to be the same. I've not made any adjustments to any of the other combat settings or whatever you can go ahead and adjust here. Automatic tactical sprint is what is going to be very, very important, so make sure you guys go ahead and make those changes. You guys can see I've not messed with any of these settings. Consistency is key if you guys have not, figured that out yet. Now for the graphics setting, I highly recommend you guys adjusting your FOV. You want to play within the 100 to 100 FOV window. This is gonna be perfect on every single Call of Duty, allow you to see more of your screen. But the most important part about adjusting your field of view is gonna be matching it up with the ADS field of view set to affected. Sometimes when you boot up the game, it's gonna be set to independent. The developers have actually started to integrate having affected, automatically enabled because so many people are running it. Make sure you guys have affected enabled if you do not have this on, because it's going to mirror whatever field of view you have selected, being 100 or 120. This is gonna be a huge impact on your long range performance, because it's going to allow you to have less visual recoil so you can be more accurate and hit your shots at longer ranges. The reason they brought in the Jack Glasses optic is to help out players who, for whatever reason, do not want to play unaffected, so they can have a little bit less visual recoil. When you kind of couple the Jack Glassless with affected, or any optic or iron sight with affected, you are going to be at a severe advantage over everybody else that is not running this. I highly recommend going ahead and doing this if you have not already. Everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. What you want to do when you do boot up the game, if you have not done this already, is to turn off world motion blur as well as weapon motion blur. This is going to be giving you a very weird and just haziness to your screen, so you can't really see people in dark corners, especially longer ranges. So if you find yourself running into buildings and you're down to people where you're like, man, I could have sworn I would have saw that guy, something must be up, I can guarantee you probably have world and weapon motion blur enabled, giving you that kind of haziness that's going to be obstructing your view, especially in low lit areas. So make sure you guys have this turned off immediately. Everything else here is gonna be the same. I've not made any changes except the inverted flashbang, which I do have turned on, so it's not gonna be as blinding and crazy when you do get flashbang. So definitely make this change as well, so you're not going ahead and blinding yourself. But those are gonna be all the settings under view. My quality settings as well as display settings are gonna be pretty much standard for my own gameplay, because obviously I make content and play the game. These settings are going to be best suited for my computer. Now the audio settings are also be super important. They don't call me ears for nothing. For audio mix, make sure you guys are playing on headphones bass boost. Even if you don't have a headset, if you have a surround sound stereo system, if you have a headset that you've bought within the last 7 years, I have Astro A40 TRs. They're dinosaur grade headsets, but they work flawlessly here in Call of Duty. These are going to be allowing you to hear footsteps and gunfire a lot easier, and when you couple it with headphones bass boost and the bone conduction headset, you're gonna be able to pinpoint where people are at without the use of a UAV, which in my personal opinion is going to be super important even after the update, which allows streaks to recycle each other. So you're gonna be getting more UAVs, more advanced UAVs. It's still nice to have the audio cues and the awareness in gameplay. Everything else here, I have pretty much the same. I've not made any changes. I have my master game volume cranked all the way up for obvious reasons. I hear footsteps and gunfire. I have my voice chat volume turned down to 50% because sometimes people go on the mic and play, music. They're doing whatever they're going on in the background. I don't want to hear any of that. So I have all these kind of set up for my own personal enjoyment. Obviously, my microphone is set to push to talk, so I don't annoy people while I'm talking and recording videos. I wish other people would think the same, but again, everything else is going to be pretty much the same under the audio settings here. You don't have to make much changes. Only thing you really want to do is make sure you have your headphones bass boosted enabled, make sure master of game volume is turned up, and make sure, for the love of God, if you are going to have, you know, a microphone on, make sure it's on push to talk, or, you know, it's flipped up so you're not annoying the lobby. Man, it's crazy I have to say that. And then finally, for the interface settings, the only thing you need to change here is make sure minimap is set to square. For whatever reason, people like to run on round. When I was reviewing a lot of gameplays in Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops Cold War, I would always see a lot of people rock round. Guys, square is going to be your best option, giving you not only a bigger mini-map picture, but it's also easier to read and also interpret where people are going to be, you know, spawning at, and kind of figuring out, you know, where people are at associated to the red dot. To make sure you guys have square enabled, circle is a no-go, and obviously have the rotation turned on as well. But these are going to be the settings you should be running under the interface category. Overall, a huge help to your gameplay. Now, these settings are what you need to be rocking here in Modern Warfare 3 Season 4 Reloaded. Now, make sure you guys have on the 4 to 6 sensitivity window. Super important if you're trying to drastically improve your aim, accuracy, or gun skill. This is going to be the way to go, especially if you want to really fine-tune your long-range performance. I like to play on linear. I know a lot of people are also going to be enjoying playing on linear, and you want to make the switch to Black Ops so you guys are ready for Black Ops 6, which is releasing within the next couple of months. It's coming up fast. Time is flying. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications, and if you guys do check these settings out and go crazy, feel free to let me know. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.